Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy iREZ. Yeah, that's right. I'm coming at you with another tutorial for you. And today I'm going to be talking about how to properly and correctly EQ your vocals. That is right. A lot of people's vocals, when I'm hearing tracks, sound real shitty. You know what I'm saying? And that's a problem because in a track, in a song, the vocal should be your primary source. It should be the most clearest and the best sounding possible quality in that track. So I'm going to teach you guys how to make that sound shitty to amazing. That's right. What is EQ? In order to understand what we're about to do, we need to know the definition of what EQ is. EQ is basically equalization. That is right. Equalization. What is equalization? Well, let me tell you. Equalization is the process of boosting or cutting the level of certain audio frequencies or tones compared to the other frequencies in a given spectrum. What does that mean? I don't know. Well, I'm gonna tell you. Basically, what you and I both can hear is from 20 hertz all the way up to 20,000 hertz, which is known as the low frequencies and the high frequencies. And everything in between is what makes the audio frequency spectrum from what we can hear. So, what is 20 hertz? What is 20,000 hertz? Hertz is a unit of frequency, which means it's a measurement of cycles per second. Well, what does that mean, right? Basically, sound is molecules bouncing back and forth, vibrating in the air. Now, obviously, we cannot see that, so hertz is what we use to measure that. Now, why hertz? Well, basically, because some dude named Heinrich Hertz, this German physicist, I can't even say that word, a German scientist, is the dude who basically discovered that. So, back to what we're saying, EQing. So, we can hear in a spectrum of 20 hertz, which is known as the low frequency, all the way up to 20,000 hertz, which is known as the high frequency. So, making your vocals sound correct. Now, how do I do that, iREZ? Knowing what EQ is, now how do I actually take that knowledge and put it into work? Well, I'm gonna tell you. There's a lot to take into consideration. The microphone being one, your preamp being two, and obviously males and female vocal artists have different frequency spectrums within their voice. So the best tool that you can possibly use, again, this is very important, the best tool that you can possibly use is your ears. Yes, that is correct. It's that simple. Your ears. How does it sound to you? Does it sound bad or good? Now, if it sounds bad, there's a problem. Make it sound good. Now, I'm going to teach you mathematically by numbers how potentially you can make something bad sound good. So, when recording a vocal artist, usually you don't really want to boost frequencies per se. I mean, there's situations that you would want to and you can, but mainly cut frequencies. Okay, without any further ado, we get it. Enough with the schooling. Let's move on, and I'm gonna actually show you how to EQ this vocal properly and correctly. Cool. So this vocal was recorded with a shitty ass mic, one of those USB mics that you buy at like Radio Shack or something. And see how different already it sounds? See how bad and just the quality is just yuck. Ugh. But we can still make this sound potentially pretty decent. I mean, passable at least. Like, not great, but pretty damn good. And in order to do that, this is what you gotta do. When you're EQing, remember, don't push frequencies. Always want to cut. Don't boost. Now, for tutorial purposes, I have Pro Tools running, as you can see. So I'm gonna use Pro Tools, but you can use any software. As long as you have a parametric 7-band EQ, we're gonna be able to do this and do this right. So what you're gonna want to do is now open up your 7-band EQ plugin and let's start doing this. Now what you're going to want to do is something that I call scanning the spectrum. Basically, grab one of the knobs and over dramatically boost it up as high as you can go potentially and scan through the whole entire spectrum, going from high frequencies all the way down to the low frequencies. Now, wherever it starts to hurt your ear, that usually means it is not a good frequency. You want to cut that off. That's why we scan. We scan to hear for those bad frequencies. Now, in general, this is what you want to do. You see when I go around the 500, how it sounds kind of tinny, you know, very, very just tinny. You want to cut that roughly around 500 hertz. Now, I'm going to boost it, and you see the difference now compared to when I cut it. It just doesn't sound as tinny anymore. It sounds a little bit better. Now, grab another band and I want you to move all the way down the spectrum, roughly to about 100 to 250 hertz. You see how it sounds real muddy right here? Muddy, just muddy, blah, blah, very just nasty. You know, usually what I would do is cut the muddy off just to make it sound more cleaner, make the vocal breathe. Now when we cut it, see how much of a difference it sounds? It sounds a lot, just clarity is all of a sudden in our ears. It's a lot more clarified. It just sounds a lot better. Now moving on to another band, as we go up the spectrum around the 1000 hertz, that's where the high mid frequency is at. Now sometimes if you cut it, you sound, you know, people sound sick as if I have a cold or something, but if I boost it, it can get really annoying in the same time. So just be careful with this frequency. You always want to at least check it out though. Boost, cut it just to see what sounds better and move on from there. Now with the next band, go even higher in the spectrum. And if we hit around 2 to 4K, see how it just sounds very whiny? Whiny, yeah, see how it's just real whiny. It's very annoying actually. That you might want to cut, but again, it just depends on each vocalist and how they sound because of the vocals in general. Everyone sounds different, but the clarity is the goal that we're trying to achieve here, to make it sound as best as possible. And last but not least, with the last band between 8 to 10K, that's where the S's are at, where cis S sounding plays. Yes, you usually want to cut these frequencies just a little bit because it sucks listening to them when it's super high. But again, be careful when cutting, because if you cut too much, all of a sudden the air is gone and the presence is not there as much, and you do not want that. You want your presence there, so just be careful. Again, it's all about using your ears. There's no exact way on how to EQ vocals. If there was, there'd be a special plugin already made, but there isn't. So again, it's all about using your ears, using these tools, knowing the spectrum and the frequencies and where the vocal lays and adjusting to them correctly. So let's see how the vocal sounds bypassed. Let's see how it sounds just very nasty, ugly, trash. It don't sound good. And then when we put the EQ on from what we have, it just brightens it up a little bit. It makes it sound how it should sound, very clean. Now I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Hit me up through all my social media networks, Facebook, Twitter, email, my own personal website. I'll be more than happy to try to help you guys out. But again, if you need mixing and mastering services, I got you. Hit me up. My prices are very, very affordable. I got professional credits under my belt. Check them out. Go to my website. Listen to examples. And again, I appreciate your time. This is your boy, iREZ, coming at you with another tutorial on basic EQing for vocals. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Peace. Deuces.